Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and I'm really excited to have my good friend Gilbert. He's such a hoot to be around. He's just always a fun guy, and I love being a parent. I know he loves being a parent as well. So, welcome, Gilbert.
Welcome. Well, thank you for the welcome, I guess.
And I know you're building a huge place in Tampa area. Actually, what, Wesley Chapel? Where is it?
It's in Lutz, Florida.
Lutz.
Yeah, I'm building a home to be in for the next 10 years till my
Okay.
children grow up, leave me, and then I can sell that home and go live like a hermit or a backpacker around the world.
Well, sounds like a good dream. And where do you like? So, give me a little bit about yourself because most people may not know who you are.
So I'm Gilbert. I'm born and raised in New Orleans. Met Minesh through the core coaching system. So when I moved to Tampa, which is almost 10 years ago in about 14, 15 days, it'll be 10 years ago I moved to Tampa, I changed careers. I used to work in education and before that in computer science. Um, and when I moved to Tampa, I needed to find something that was a little bit different. My daughter at the time was 5, and what I was doing with schools was school operations for charter schools. And I had some opportunities to do some consulting work with that. And it would have taken me all around the country and taken me out of town Monday to Thursday most weeks that I'd be working, right? So I kind of chose to not pursue that because my daughter was 5 in kindergarten. My wife was going to be working long hours. I didn't really want to leave home and leave her um, without without her parents, right? A lot of times. So wind up meeting a guy named Sam and got into the mortgage business. And I met Manish through the mortgage business and what we call a core coaching system that Rick Ruby put together to help mortgage lenders, mortgage brokers succeed and through development of relationships, right?
Exactly. And Sam is doing well, you are doing well. And what most people maybe if you haven't seen my episodes before, one of the songs which inspired me was Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon, which is Harry Chapin's famous song. I think Cat Stevens wrote it from what I understand. And the story is about a dad who never was available to his son. And you made a conscious choice to be available for your daughter. And that's pretty much how I designed my life. And you know me very well. You see me with my kids and family all the time. So that was a priority. And it's obvious to me that it's a priority for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So, in this time that we live in, there are so many different things influencing children, right? So, in your situation, what are you doing to share your values, influence your children in a way that they can have certain values that you believe are important? How do you do that?
Well, one is always kind of like you do, sir. It's definitely lead by presence and example. Um, and so I do try to bottle what I want them to see, what I want them to be, what I want them to do, right? I have a love language that is physical touch, that is quality time, and so I spend a lot of my time. My kids are probably irritated with the amount of hugs, kisses, and love they get, right? But I also want both my daughter and my son to recognize that it's all right to be affectionate with people, it's all right to love people, and it's all right to say that you love people and demonstrate to people emotion because that can be a good a bright moment in a person's day, right? It might be something that you don't know whether they get anywhere else or not. So that's one area, right? I have done what I can to endear them to church, try to find places where they can find, um, so have fun while learning, and honestly, just to model work ethic as well, because I feel like it's important that you work hard. So I don't mind saying I have to go to work or I'm working, and I don't mind working around them because life ain't free, you know.
I
And I
totally agree.
think
Yeah, teaching them about that work ethic is important at a young age. And now you have what, two children, you said?
I have two. I have a daughter who's 15 and my son is 8.
Oh, fantastic.
And I
Fantastic.
would have a lot more, except I really hate changing diapers.
Well, I
And
understand the
my
feeling.
wife didn't want no pair, so we had to have the work, you know.
And you lead a busy life. Your wife is a physician, right? So in your case, you have so many different things going on in life as well, which makes it, I'm sure, not easy to find all the time that you want with each other as well as with the family. And you built a very successful business. So that takes commitment. No matter who you are, it does take commitment, but obviously you prioritize things like that. So now that we have been talking about career, your daughter is, you said 15, so she's like, my son is working at Chick-fil-A. Okay. And he's also helping out at the church, volunteering there. So in your case, what kind of guidance or tips you have for your daughter? And obviously, what are some of the things that you would recommend to other parents as you look for providing those very, very critical, important things before
You
they
know,
start on their career?
yeah, I've always taken the approach with my own children, my nieces, my nephews, my godchildren, my friends' children, etc. You know, I've always taken the approach that if when you want things, you work for them. And so I get the ask always comes with the yeah, here's some work you can do to earn, right? And I think that that's very important. Like people need to recognize that if everything is handed and nothing's worked for, then that may become a habit, right? And so it doesn't, to me, it really doesn't matter what resources you might have.
Mm-hmm.
You need to define some amount of work. And for some kids, the work could be doing well in school. The work could be, but to explain that, hey, if you, this is how you earn reward is with work ethic. And I definitely feel like that's important because you, again, stuff ain't free. And I fear the cycle of I watch my parents work hard. I want to work hard. We have more resources, and now I don't want to. I don't want to say spoil. I mean, every kid deserves when, especially when you can afford it, to have nice things or have some of the wishes. But there's two things they need to learn: no is acceptable, and it doesn't result in a tantrum. And to get nice things requires hard work.
Absolutely. So, do you have any thoughts on picking what kind of career maybe your daughter or your son
You
should
know,
have?
I don't have any. Choose what you want to do,
Okay.
and be good at it, right? I mean, look, you could have the simplest career. You could love to dig in dirt, but I mean, digging in dirt can result in a lucrative career if you love it and you can make others love it or appreciate your work in it, right? So it doesn't too much. I don't have any pushes one way or the other. Do something you like doing. Do something that you're going to work hard at, and maybe that doesn't, like I said, doesn't feel a lot like work. And sometimes this business I'm in is very stressful. But honestly, the best parts of it are the interacting with people. I like people, and so when I'm interacting with people, it's not. It generally doesn't seem like work unless the people are difficult. There's a lot of those, but the majority of them are not, right?
Still get a loan closed in 19 days, right? Or less.
All less.
I like that about you.
Yep.
And, obviously, I just love spending time with you. You're such a fun guy. It was good to see you last month as well. And so tell me a little bit about money, because obviously you work in the area of money. You have obviously got good habits as well. What are some of the things maybe you are doing to teach your children, or what you recommend in the area of money?
Well, there's a few things. When you have the means, like we do, I am a proponent of using them for work and having them start with savings, sometimes involuntarily or early on, and not just savings, but so as a business owner, I can employ my kids, and even some of that employment is name, image, and likeness, just like the college athletes are getting right now, where they get paid to be on banners. They'll be at events under my tent, handing out flyers or candy or volunteering with us on Rotary. But that's one area where I can do that. And then the money they make, we can apply to Roth IRAs or things to help them develop. The other one is like I definitely feel like children should handle money, but when you give it to them or when they earn it, whether that be through allowance or chores or commission, So I have a parent friend of mine who her daughters earn commission for completing chores, right? So they don't get allowance, they get commission payments for doing activities that are useful and helpful to their household. Um, when they get the money though, you got to kind of direct it, and this is my 15-year-old is still struggling with this. Oh, you get X amount of money in the month. And if you spend it all in the first week and then you got something you want to do in the third week, guess what? I don't have no more money for you. I don't have no support for it, right? If you got things that are important, you got to learn a budget for them. And so we have a conversation, not just kind of leave out on a limb, but every time it comes up, I want you to think about, is this a pertinent use of money? Do I want to spend money on Uber Eats and pay $8 for delivery fees and $12 in taxes to order 6 chicken wings, $24 for 6 chicken wings? Is that a good use of my money? Or do I want to go hang out with my friends and spend some quality time with people I love at, I don't know, Busch Gardens or even at the mall? Is that a better use of my time and resources? So it's definitely a thought. And my son is the same thing. He wants toys, games, video games, etc. All right, well, that requires savings. I mean, you only go get X amount of dollars at this many times. You want a $50 game, you can't go spend it on McDonald's. You got to save up for what you want.
I agree with you totally. And I think one of the reasons I was able to open a Roth IRA for my daughter at the age of 14, because I knew, right? Okay. And you followed the same process, which I recommend to most business owners, where you can pay your children for certain things that would make sense. And every earned income can go into some version of IRA or Roth IRA, whatever they prefer. And that way they are accumulating something. And most people don't know this, is that quite often Roth IRA is more powerful than putting the money in education. Obviously, I'm not giving individual advice here, but Roth IRA can be used for so many different things compared to just a college fund. And people don't know that after 5 years, the money is yours without obviously the growth and everything else. But the bottom line I'm trying to say is that you can do these things at a young age if you are aware and you are making some conscious choices regarding money, because they just won't learn about money on their own. It's not going to happen. And
No, it's not something they go pick up in most schools. I mean, there are some that are teaching it, but it's definitely not a topic discussed. They talk about counting money. They don't talk about budgeting, and they don't talk about investing and growing funds. So I definitely think that's something that parents want to engage in. And honestly, I have a friend of mine who opened a business, a bounce house business, for the express purpose of providing. And he has a great job, 6 figures easily. And he wanted to do something that his kids would have an option. If you want to, it takes some labor, driving, delivering, et cetera, setting up, breaking down, et cetera. But if you want this business is viable, this business makes money. And if you want to take over this business and operate this business, hey, you have it. And that's also a tool to teach them sales skills and work ethic, right? But also, hey, here's a business where we can use this to develop your future savings and your future income. Or maybe you choose to sell this business once you've built it up, right? It just gives you a lot of different option and opportunity. So I think money is a topic that people that understand it do better, and their kids do better when they teach it to them, right?
totally, I agree with you. And that's one of the reasons I work with my daughter as well. And I'm also helping set up so that they can actually take certain things in a couple of my businesses over later on in life, where, because most parents are not giving enough foundation for their children, in my opinion. Now, you're giving great foundation from education and money and everything else that they will have, which most parents don't look at it like that. They just look at, oh, the school will provide the education and then we'll be done. No, no. We are parents. We need to provide other areas of education as well, and that will help them succeed in life. So, Gilbert, two things. Number one is any other stories, information before we wrap up on the parenting part, and the second one is how can people get hold of you?
So, one thing I'll say, and I just want to reiterate this: I work in the mortgage business, and I see every day people who want to achieve something but really have no clue of how to get there. And what I'm talking about is people come to me with no savings and want to buy a home. They come to me with a current housing payment and no money left over at the end of the month, and they want to buy a house that has a bigger payment than what they're currently paying the house. And as a responsible human being, I'm out. My conversation is that's probably not a great idea right now, and that's a hard thing to say. We have realtor partners, but I don't want people to overextend themselves. Like what I like to do is help them say, "Hey, here's some budget areas. If we can clear this debt, it frees these things up for you to be able to spend and get the home you want, or for you to be able to afford the home you want, or maybe you need to be looking at reducing your expenses." And it comes down to high cost credit cards or high cost car loans and stuff like that. So be cognizant of it. If you don't know how to budget, definitely get with a financial advisor and do it. I'm Gilbert with My Easy Mortgage. You can Google me, Gilbert, Gilbert, Bennett, Bennett. My number is all over the internet. My company, My Easy Mortgage, is highly reviewed there. We're based in Tampa, Florida, and we can help people all over. But thank you for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you.